Things that take up space in my brain, part 13. This one actually just happened a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was a week ago. Anyways, my daughter was going to her class, and my husband took her, and excuse me, I was kind of feeling off that day, like not great, and just wasn't having like the best day, and meh. And so I asked my husband, I'm like, hey, are you down if I go and get McDonald's for myself and the kids and Burger King for you? Because my husband does not like McDonald's and Burger King does not like me. And so he was like, yeah, that's totally fine. So I take my son and I'm already kind of eh. And then there were a couple of drivers that kind of like irritated me and I was just kind of like little irritated. And normally I'm the type of person I try really hard to let that stuff go pretty quick. So I'm like, there's no reason getting worked up and letting it get to me. And that day, it was just kind of getting to me. And so I pull into McDonald's first, and there's the one lane, and then it goes into two. And I kind of was at the perfect spot, and so I was waiting, and this lane moves first, and so it was like, yeah, I think I'm gonna go with this lane. Man, my gut feeling told me not to go with that lane. I should have gone with my gut feeling, but I didn't. So the guy just sits there for a few minutes, literally, probably like 10 minutes. And I was just like, what in the heck is this guy doing? And I was like, whatever, like just I kept getting like irritated, and then I'd try to like calm myself down and bring myself like it's fine, you have time. It's not the end of the world. Like, it's McDonald's. Is it worth getting upset over? Absolutely not. And so finally, something happened, and this guy decided he wasn't going to order. And so, as soon as there's an opening between cars, he just guns it out of the drive through line. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I go up, place my order. Awesome. We're good to go. And so I start to pull forward, but there's a vehicle like right here in front of me. And so I start to pull forward, and then there's these kids that come from the other lane, and they like get right up on his butt. And it was one of those moments where you could tell that they were not going to let me through, even though technically it was my turn. And it was one of those things where it was one of those days where I was just irritable. And so I'm just like irritable, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. I shouldn't get this worked up about it. They're teens, they whatever, like, and I just kept getting irritated about it. And I tried to like let it go and like tough myself out of it and be like, Stephanie, it's stupid. Just, whatever. And so the vehicle in front of me finally moves. And so I inch forward to see if they're going to let me in. Because sometimes people just get right up to make sure that people behind them have space. And so I was like, maybe that's what they were doing. Maybe they'll let me through. Nope. Nope. They 100% made it clear they were not letting me in. And I was just kind of like, normally I'm the person that can just be like, whatever, go in front of me. I don't care. But it was just irritating me that day. And I had my window down and I was just kind of muttering and glaring. And I mean, not really muttering because my son was in the car, like we were talking, but like internally I was like, I love teenagers, but I'm not happy with you right now. I'm going to be all grumpy. And it just it was such a stupid, silly thing. But anyways, so she gets up there and there were like four kids in the car and she muttered something. I don't know what. And I just kind of ignored it. And then all of a sudden one of the kids in the back rolls down his window. And I'm definitely eyeballing this car because I'm not happy with him. But I'm like, it is what it is. Like, I'm just irritated. And so he rolls down his window and he's going to say something. And instantly my brain goes to petty mode because when I get irritated, I get petty and passive aggressive. And I just like instantly was like, oh, no, you're not going to say anything. So I just go, that's okay. I was going to pay for your food, but I'll just pay for somebody else. That's okay. It's okay. And I had no intention of paying for these kids' food. Zero intention whatsoever. And so he just kind of stares at me for a second and then rolls his window back up. And so when I get into line, I'm just like irritated. And so what I did when I got up to the window, because I'm that type of person where it's like, if I say I'm going to do something, even if I had zero intention of doing it before, I'm going to do it. So I said, I'm not paying for your food. I'm going to pay for somebody behind you. So I tried to pay for the lady right behind me because she was like super sweet. She saw what was going on and she was just like, it's okay. Go ahead. And like, she was super friendly about it. She's kind of like rolling her eyes about the teens and stuff like that. Like, yeah, whatever. And lets me through. And somehow she had already paid. I'm not exactly sure how you do that, but she had already paid. And so the person behind, like the next person in line, they were like, oh yeah, this is how much theirs is. And I was like, yeah, absolutely. So I paid for their food. So I got irritated over something stupid. Like, admittedly, it was stupid. And then had to open my big mouth But it wound up being a blessing for some random person that I have no idea who they are. So because I got irritated that these kids stole my spot in line, I paid for food for someone behind me. And I told my husband about it later, and he just kind of was like, all right, whatever. But that is just the random type of person that I am. I get irritated and I get petty and I say stuff. But if I say that I'm going to do something, you better butt that I'm going to do it. You better believe that I'm going to do it. So, yeah, some random person got an act of kindness because I was having a grumpy day. There you go. That's things that take up space in my brain, number 13. And I am a very unique person. What can I say? Get irritated and pay for someone else's food. But, yeah, it just makes me laugh because sometimes I'm like, where does my brain go with these things? How does my brain get from here to there? I don't know, but it is what it is, and I hope you're all having a wonderful day. And I want you to remember that I love you. Bye.